A few of you have sent me some PMs, what we call PMs in the Facebook universe, private messages, on my views on the Trump rally at Tulsa because the numbers were down 6,500. And the thing is that TikTok ran a campaign. A lot of Chinese Communist Party hackers got onto the Trump campaign, inverted commas, and infiltrated it online to falsely report that 1 million people had registered an interest in attending that rally. Now, that's common knowledge. That's a fact, indisputable fact. So we've got Chinese interference already in the American election campaign for 2020. That's the big story. TikTok is owned by the Chinese nation. A private individual owns it, but they are duty bound to the Chinese Communist Party, as we all know. So anyone that's got a TikTok account are being investigated without their knowledge, surreptitiously, by the Chinese Communist Party via TikTok. So if you're a member of TikTok, I would get off that tonight if I were you, because they're already having a go at America by infiltrating the election campaign for Trump. And just putting that aside for the moment, back to the rally at Tulsa in terms of the lower than expected attendees. Look, I live in Australia, and my grandfather was born in San Francisco, so his mother was an actress in Los Angeles and also New York on the stage at the Empire Theatre, so that's why I've got an interest in American politics. Plus, I've been a political reporter for 40-odd years. Being a defender of any underdog, and I've been defending Trump being the underdog from 2015, I always thought he had a good chance of winning that election, and I was right. And I was right about Scott Morrison winning in May 2019 in Australia. As much as I would have liked to have gone to that Trump rally, when you hear that big numbers are gathering outside from Black Lives Matter, and just look at the news over the last few weeks, what has followed Black Lives Matter, they tend to attract dangerous elements. And if one was going to not attend a Trump rally for fear of one's personal safety, especially if you've got a wife and a few kids who want to come along as well, notwithstanding the COVID-19 concerns, that's bad enough. Had it been an open air arrangement, I wouldn't have worried. I would have attended myself had I lived over there in Oklahoma or even a neighbouring state. I still would have wanted to go. But the fact is that you've got to understand there's going to be natural attrition for different reasons. Point one, there would have been Trump supporters who do still have some concerns about the virus spreading. And if they wanted to stay home, that's fine. But there's also Trump supporters that would not want to leave themselves open to any awkward confrontations with the Black Lives Matter people. Now, imagine what the left-wing media could have been reporting today had there been any scuffles outside. Now, here's the great unreported stories. There weren't any scuffles between Trump supporters and Black Lives Matter. They pretty much kept to themselves, both sides, and I would like to thank the Black Lives Matter people at Tulsa for not goading any Trump people, because sometimes if you get Antifa people or you get some MS-13 people infiltrating the Black Lives Matter crowd, many of whom are fine and decent people and they've got their own beliefs and more power to them. But you do get some bad eggs on both sides that can infiltrate and cause trouble. Now, thankfully, nothing happened. So I believe that's a good news story, that the rally went ahead. Okay, lower numbers, 6,500. But I believe judgment should be reserved for a fortnight down the track to see if any of these Trump supporters become symptomatic with the COVID-19 virus. Then you can kick Trump as much as you like after that. But you can't cherry pick. The media has been cherry picking because look what they did with all the other riots and the protest marches where they had thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people in some open air spaces, admittedly, but still some of them were locked arm in arm. And the left-wing media said nothing about that. They're actually singing their praises for being, Black Lives Matters champions. And you can't have one rule for one section of the community and another for the other side. That is not how I was educated to be a reporter of 40 years standing. You ask for my views, they are my views. I see the Tulsa rally as a resounding success, but reserving judgment for a fortnight down the track and crossing fingers that nobody gets seriously ill as a result of it. Thanking the Black Lives Matters people outside of the Tulsa Conference Center for not stirring up too much trouble, and urging everyone in the weeks and months ahead to please be civil to each other, have different views, have robust discussions if you must, but please don't come to blows. Be peaceful. John Lennon moved to New York to live. He waited years to get his green card from my namesake, President Reagan. When he got it, he was so proud to be living in New York City. He was the great peacenik. He would not want to see the disunity in America today. He wouldn't want the police to be defunded. He's the man who gave 100 or 200 police bulletproof vests in New York City. He was very pro-police. He'd be in favour of supporting the police, the good police. The police who get up every day not knowing if they're going to be coming back home at 6 o'clock that night or midnight, whenever their shift ends. And the families, think of the police families, the children, the wives, biting their nails, wondering if they're going to see their husband or their wife come home, if it's a policewoman. The husband's waiting at home, wondering if she's going to be all right tonight. What sort of a life? Who would volunteer to be a policeman in this current era? We need to have more respect for everyone around us, of all colours, of all races, and I'm tired of the race debate. I'm fed up with it. There's so many good white people in the world who love people of colour, who would marry people. I would marry a coloured person if somebody was a good sort and they were available and they had a similar sense of humour. There's some gorgeous people of colour that I would be proud to be seen walking down the street arm in arm with. I believe every life matters. And I support Trump because he's a good Christian and he wants the nation to respect the slogan, "In God We Trust," which is so very important. He wants people to stand up for the flag, and I believe in that. He doesn't want people taking a knee anymore. Let's not take a knee anymore, America. Let's not take a knee anymore, Australia. Let's all be one nation, locked together arm in arm for democracy. China is the common enemy. That's Lord Reags' view. Thank you for asking.